Get in. Get in. Get in. Get in. Oh, that was so stressful. That was so stressful, man. That was so much more stressful than Liverpool should have been today. I mean, look, it ended up 2-0, and I think it was the exact same as midweek. Liverpool absolutely smashed Manchester City today, and City should be happy with only losing that game 2-0. Because with the chances we created and how we defended in that game, we gave City literally nothing. That should have been 5, maybe even 6-0. Anyway, I'm so happy. We're 9 points clear at the top of the Premier League. 13 games in, we are 11 points clear of Manchester City. And it feels absolutely beautiful. Another game where Liverpool had a huge opportunity, a massive game, and we turned in a huge performance. And look, nothing is finished yet. Whether people want to say, oh, if Liverpool don't win the title from here, it would be the biggest bottle job ever, and different things being said like that I'm seeing post-game after this. Nothing is finished, but we are in a fantastic position. We can't look too far ahead. We need to keep taking each game as it comes. Obviously, we have Newcastle, which is another tough game during the week. But with how good we have been so far this season, we now have ourselves in an excellent, excellent position. And let's just hope we keep this up. But I don't see any reason why we shouldn't. Fantastic performance from Liverpool. Anyway, let's get into today's player ratings. Caoimhín Kelleher had very little to do. I mean, Manchester City didn't have their first shot until the 40th minute or so with Rico Lewis. He was more busy in the second half, had a couple of saves to make, one or two easy ones. Virgil van Dijk, who I think was unbelievable today. Van Dijk was unbelievable today, but he really put Kelleher under the cosh with giving the ball away very late on in the game with Liverpool being 2-0 up. But Caoimhín Kelleher, as he always does, made a fantastic save, just keeping his legs closed just enough to save from De Bruyne and keep the clean sheet. Another very good performance from Caoimhín. I am going to say Caoimhín Kelleher an 8 out of 10. Trent, funnily enough today, I would say better defensively than going forward. Going forward, didn't have as much of a contribution as he usually does. I thought some of his passes were good, some others didn't really come off. His deliveries weren't excellent into the box. Remember, this is his first game for a few weeks, so he should be given some leeway in that regard. But defensively, I thought very, very good. He came up against Doku in the second half. I thought Doku looked good. Doku was a threat for Manchester City ever since he was on the pitch. But I thought Trent dealt with him well, certainly made no mistakes. And yeah, I think Trent deserves an 8 out of 10 as well. Joe Gomez, very, very good. And look, I think a lot of people were panicking not having Ibrahima Konate for this game. And obviously, Ibu being out for 5 or 6 weeks. But Joe Gomez is a very good defender. He had a bit of a sticky period at Liverpool a year and a half or 2 years ago. There was doubts in the summer whether Slot was going to keep him or not. But I think today he proved why he should be kept and why he is a vital part of the Liverpool squad. It's all about a squad in terms of the entire season, especially if you want to compete for the big trophies. And thankfully, with Konate not being there, we have a very, very good replacement in Jarrell Kwanzaa as well, if you want to look at, if you want to turn to him as well. But Joe Gomez today, very good, very assured, dealt with everything Manchester City threw at us. And I think he deserves an 8. As Virgil van Dijk, I would have said 10, genuinely, with 8 minutes left or so. But purely because a bit of laziness or maybe a bit of complacency crept in with giving the ball to De Bruyne one-on-one with Kelleher out of nowhere. Let's be real. I'm going to down it to a 9, but an absolute colossus today. With Ibu Konate, his favourite partner, not beside him. Van Dijk absolutely, he just held that entire defense together, as he always does. And look, he was a colossus. He should have scored. He was unlucky, obviously, hitting the post in the first half. I can't believe he didn't score the second chance, which is just bread and butter to Virgil from a corner, let's be real. But defensively unbelievable. In the air, with the ball at his feet, his passing, everything. 9 out of 10. Robertson, not an easy job today. I mean, up against Savinho. Savinho is a tricky little player. He's a good technical footballer, but I felt he dealt with him well. He defended well. I felt going forward, like Trent, maybe not his best day going forward. I think we are seeing more Robbo performances that I would say he has less of an effect kind of going forward. But you have to remember, I mean, that break, that counter-attack early in the second half, that was an absolutely unbelievable pass to Cody Gakpo. And Cody Gakpo should have finished it. He was unlucky. It was a great block from Matheus Nunes. But between that pass, between the flurries he had forward, he had a couple of good balls into the box. And I thought he defended well as well. I'm going to say Robbo gets an 8. There's a lot of 8s here, isn't there? Gravenberch, very, very good. I mean, just standard for Ryan Gravenberch. I said a couple of days ago that Ryan Gravenberch's normal performance now, which is crazy considering he wasn't a main starter in the team last season. His normal performance now is an 8 out of 10. That's a normal Ryan Gravenberch performance. And I think he was even better than that today. As always, so strong, so much quality he brought to the midfield today. I thought, especially when City started threatening, they started seeing more of the ball in moments in the first half, and especially in the second half when, City, I think for the first 20 odd minutes had like 70% of possession. Liverpool were kind of sitting back more and playing on the counter. I thought Gravenberch really came to the fore, his defensive qualities there, but we also seen his qualities going forward, his lovely turns, his passing, his dribbling through the lines. Very, very good. I'm going to say Ryan Gravenberch, 8.5. Alexis McAllister, I think, continued his good form from the Real Madrid game. Obviously, as I mentioned recently, he hasn't been the best, and he came on against Southampton. He was okay, but we've seen the real Alexis McAllister on Wednesday against Real Madrid, and I believe we've seen more of that today. I thought his deliveries into the box were very good. His corner in the first half to Van Dijk's head should have been finished. His defensive qualities, his intercepting of the ball, bringing Liverpool out from deep positions, especially in that second half, really kind of shone as well. And yeah, his passing was good. His link-up play was decent. It wasn't a vintage Alexis McAllister performance, but a very good and assured one. Alexis McAllister, 7.5. Dominic Szoboszlai, absolutely fantastic. I thought he's kind of been up and down this season. We've seen some of the best of Dominic Szoboszlai, and then in other games we've seen him not really play to how good we know that he is, not really play to the maximum of his ability. But today he was excellent, absolutely excellent. I thought his pressing was superb. And I'm going to say Dominic Szoboszlai as well gets a 9 out of 10. Mohamed Salah, superb yet again. Absolutely superb. He made Nathan Ake his dog today. If the referee was a bit better, by the way, especially in that first half, with the amount of times that Ake was pulling the life out of Salah's shirt, he would have pulled it up and given Ake a deserved yellow card. That didn't happen, but Salah just kept going, as he always does. For me, he's the best player in the world. That is a fact, but his form this season, how he's playing at 32 years old, is just amazing. Yes, he did miss that chance in the second half. I thought maybe he could have passed it across to Szoboszlai, but Szoboszlai was ahead, so, he had to take it on himself, Salah, to be fair. I was very surprised he missed it, but a massive moment where Liverpool needed to get that cushion, needed to get that second goal, because let's be real, it should have been so much more comfortable than it was at that time. And Salah steps up and puts the ball right into the corner. He caused chaos for Manchester City today, as he does every team. Salah is getting a 9 out of 10. Cody Gakpo, very, very good. I mean, a bit like Ryan Gravenberch this season. Under Arne Slot, I think he has been fully unlocked. We all knew he was a very good player. We were all delighted when he signed for us from PSV. And last season, he had some difficult moments. We certainly didn't see the best of Cody Gakpo, or what we thought was the best of Cody Gakpo. But this season, I think he's shown his absolute best under Arne Slot. Obviously, he was playing in the wrong position. With Klopp, he's playing in the right position. Slot is playing him in the right position since he came in at Liverpool. And yeah, ran City ragged today. Got his goal, lovely little run to the back post to tap it in. He only really needed to deflect it in because Salah's pass was so good, but the run was excellent. The run was exactly where you would want a forward to be in that situation. And as always, 150% effort. He brings an awful lot of quality, Cody Gakpo, but he's such a hard worker. He should have scored again in the second half. Fantastic pass from Robbo, as I mentioned earlier. Cody Gakpo through on goal with just Nunes beside him. Maybe he took a bit too long to take that shot. Maybe he could have done a bit better there, but a very good performance. Cody Gakpo, I think this is becoming quite consistent as well. 8 out of 10. Luis Diaz, energy. Energy is the word that I'm using for when I think of Luis Diaz, and especially to describe his performance today. The energy he brings is just absolutely unbelievable. Like Gakpo as well, but his effort is just unmatched. I loved the way, especially in the second half, when City were seeing a lot of the ball and it would go to their backline, Diaz was just running down every single player. Centrally, I think he has looked really good over the last few weeks, in certain games as well. Even during the week against Real Madrid, when he was moved centrally in that second half, I thought he looked really good, probably better than he did out the left in that game. But today, centrally, not as much joy, plenty of effort, but he didn't see probably as much of the ball as he wanted. Maybe Pep had his tactics kind of sorted in that respect to try and quell the threat of Luis Diaz, obviously being such on great form this season. But when he moved to the left, I feel we've seen the absolute best of him, and just great tenacity to win that penalty. Obviously wins it back, gets in the right position, takes the ball past Ortega, and Ortega has to take him down. Clear penalty. And his effort, his tenacity, I don't know, what's the word there? I know tenacity is a word, but I'm not sure if tenaciousness is a word. It sounds like it. But, yeah. And just his quality overall earned him winning that penalty today. And Diaz is also getting an 8. On to the subs. Darwin Núñez, very good as well. Look, we always know that we are going to get maximum effort and more from Darwin Núñez, but I think it was a bit of a masterclass as well from Slot to bring him on when he did. It was like 73rd minute or thereabouts. You could see City getting a bit tired, especially that back line, who for the second half seen a lot of the ball and were being a bit precarious with it in certain situations where Liverpool won the ball back and broke, especially that Salah chance, even that Gakpo chance that I mentioned with the pass from Robertson. And Núñez came on and he took advantage of it. Obviously, as I mentioned, he forced the mistake from Ruben Diaz. Like Luis Diaz, very tenacious, brings loads of energy. And I thought the quality was there from Núñez too today, obviously with the forcing of that mistake. But I thought his link-up play was good. He held the ball up well. And for a sub, in a game you're winning 1-0, as massive a game that it was, you can't really ask for too much more. Darwin Núñez is going to get another 8. Jarrell Kwanzaa came on at the same time, double sub, as Darwin Núñez. Came on for Trent, who I thought had a very good game, and filled in for him well. Defensively, very good. He didn't give Doku or anybody down that left-hand side any more of an inch that Trent did. He came out with the ball a couple of times. He advanced Liverpool up the pitch, especially in the first few minutes that he was on. And yeah, very, very solid. I seen a few comments saying, oh, Kwanzaa could have an error in him and this game could be 1-1. You know, he could cost us this game and everything. I mean, we shouldn't be talking like that. Jarell Kwanzaa is a very good centre-back. Very, very promising young talent. I think he has a big future ahead of him. I think if Liverpool didn't have Gomez available, he would be a very good option to play centre-half as well. And certainly came on and did his shift. Certainly came on and did a massive shift for the last 20 minutes or so today. Jarell Kwanzaa, 7.5. Curtis Jones came on for the last 5 minutes or so. As I said, I usually don't rate players who play for 10 minutes or less. But Jones, good. Continued his good form. A very good option with the form that Jones has shown, especially in recent weeks and months, to be able to bring him on this late, to have that added bit of quality in midfield for a match like this. But yeah, his passing was good, kept the ball well. He really made it a lot more difficult for City to kind of create anything or get any sort of encouragement or anything like that. Jones, he only played 5 or so minutes. Came on in the 84th minute, played like 10 minutes. But I'm still going to say 7. And Harvey Elliott, great to see him back. Absolutely fantastic to see him back. We are spoilt for midfield choices at the moment. We're so lucky. Granted, the injury of Ibu is a big, big miss, but look at what we have in midfield at the moment. Ryan Gravenberch on the form of his life. Alexis McAllister back to top form. Dominic Szoboszlai in top form in recent weeks. We also obviously have Jones, who I mentioned, in top form the last couple of months or so, having a great season. And then you're adding in Harvey Elliott as well. Came on, for 2 or 3 minutes, touched the ball a couple of times. Didn't have to do much, just kind of sizz in and see the result out. And he did that. Harvey Elliott, 6. And finally, Arne Slot. I mean, he got it absolutely perfect today. Arne Slot coached a 5-0 win today. It's as simple as that. He did. I mean, if Liverpool's forwards were more clinical today, we would have absolutely wiped the floor of City. That game would have been over at half-time, and that is massive credit to the manager. Yet again, I think he got the team selection spot on. His in-game management is fantastic. Obviously, moving Diaz out to the left in the second half when he seen he wasn't having his best game. Diaz was much more effective out there. The subs were fantastic, especially Darwin Núñez bringing him on at that time of the game. As I mentioned, Jarell Kwanzaa, Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott to just see out the game. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. And I absolutely adore the man. Arne Slot, 10 out of 10. Anyway, there are my player ratings for today's game. Another absolutely superb performance from Liverpool. Another absolutely superb win. I am so happy. And it is only 13 games into the season. It's only now just over a third into the Premier League season. But we're 9 points clear at the top of the Premier League. We're 11 points clear of Manchester City, which is crazy at any stage of a season, but especially this early. And we're 5 out of 5 in the Champions League. Life could not be any better right now. And we just need to keep our feet on the ground. Keep putting in performances like we are, game on game, and just focus on what is next. Don't look too far forward, as I said, because that's where problems can arise. And please God, we don't have too many more big injuries, like obviously Ibu being out for 5 or 6 weeks, just announced a few days ago. Anyway. I feel like I say that loads. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, drop me a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. And I will see you on the next one. Newcastle, next up, another tough game. But tonight, we can celebrate. At least for now. Anyway, up the Reds.